Okay, and we're live. Hello, welcome to our community spotlight series. We've taken a little break from the community spotlights. We did, some hackathon live streams, but now we're back featuring our community members. So excited to be here. My name is Kate. If you have not seen us on a live stream before, with me hosting today is Alex. Hi, Alex. With us today is Connor, as our guest.
Hello.
Hello, Connor. We'll be getting to that in a second. First, I just want to say we have some really, really exciting stuff coming up from the Bolt team. So definitely follow us on Twitter. There's going to be some exciting announcements in the future. But also running right now is our design challenge, or our dream feature challenge. Excuse me, I'm getting my challenges confused. Right now we have a dream feature challenge. It is running through Friday. And we are, thank you, Alex. So basically, you can win $1,000 if you create your dream feature and tag us on Twitter, on X, tag bolt.new, running through Friday, September 5th. Super cool. So definitely, if you have a dream feature, and it can be any dream feature. It doesn't have to be just for Bolt. It can be a dream feature for any product. $1,000 could be yours. Also, I want to also call out that we just launched. Yes, you can still submit tomorrow. The deadline is 8 a.m. Pacific, I believe, on Friday.
Let's double check that. Yep, Friday, 8 a.m. Pacific.
Yep, so you have up until Friday, September 5th, 8 a.m. Pacific to submit. Also want to call out that we just launched our Build with Bolt program, which is our events program. If you are hosting an event, a community-led or corporate event, and you want to use Bolt and you want to use Bolt for free, you can apply for our Build with Bolt program. We'll be giving out Bolt Pro access on amplifying your events. And yes, here's the landing page. And actually, Alex, can you pop the URL into the chat as well? Amazing. Okay, so some exciting stuff. Like I said, we have some more exciting stuff coming up as well. Okay, with that, I'll stop yapping. Let's get to the community spotlight. Alex, take it away.
Awesome. Thanks, Kate. So super excited to be joined here today by Conor Martin. If any of you have been following Bolt on X, you've probably seen some of Conor's tweets over the last 11 or so months. Well, welcome to the live stream, Conor.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Kate.
Oh, you have a great microphone. I'm jealous.
So,
before we dive into the nitty gritty here, we haven't done a community spotlight in a while. So just to remind people, the idea of these community spotlights is to bring on builders from the community, so that we can all just get to know them better, since we see all these people on Twitter all the time, and good to get to know people face to face, and also so we can learn from them and check out some of the things they built, understand the tips and tricks and strategies that they've learned on along the way of those projects. So Conor, really where I'd love to start is just to hear a little bit about you, where you born, where you grew up, where do you live, and those kind of things.
Sure. So I'm from Ireland. I'm from Dublin, Ireland. And ever since I was young, I always wanted to travel. So I was just like, how do I get to travel the world and work at the same time? Because you need money, obviously. So I kind of fell into this, teaching English as a second language, got certified in that after I finished my degree. And I just traveled. I've pretty much traveled my whole adult life. So I'm 40 now, just turned 40. And so over the last 17 years, lived in loads and loads of different countries, several times in Spain, in Brazil, in Vietnam, in Georgia, many countries around the world. I love learning languages, about new cultures and stuff like that. And I've kind of always, since you could make money online. I was like, oh, you can make money online. That's like amazing because I can keep, traveling and work wherever, So I've been into that for probably about 7 or 8 years, mainly as a web publisher, SEO, and YouTube as well. So I do a good bit of YouTube. I make videos about both. Yeah, and now I live in Galicia in Spain. It's the northwest of Spain, which is the rainy, cold part, which many people don't know about, but it's beautiful. It's kind of like perfect for me because it's like similar to Ireland. The weather is crap and
So you feel right at home.
still at home, yeah, but a little bit different.
That's awesome. So, do you still have a day job these days?
No, I haven't. I haven't taught English in about 7 or 8 years. I started off traveling, like house sitting and like looking after people's pets and stuff, so you didn't have to pay any rent, and then build up a kind of an online income, teaching English online, and then moving to like SEO and publishing and all that.
Gotcha. So then, roll the clock back like a year or two before, kind of Bolt came on the scene, and vibe coding, kind of the vibe coding revolution of, I guess, summer 2024, summer and fall 2024 was kind of when this stuff kind of became possible, and then sort of started entering the more public discourse. Yeah, I guess, can you tell me a little more about the make money online thing? What did that look like, like 24 months ago, let's say?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd roll back one more year to, well, is it one more year, 2 more years, like maybe when ChatGPT came out, because I was writing a lot of informational blog content, answering people's questions for Google and stuff like that. And that's like changed massively now because, yeah, people are going to AI, ChatGPT, the AI overviews are there, AI mode is there now. So many things have changed in SEO. So I had to kind of pivot anyway. I was moving into YouTube and digital marketing on YouTube. And then I was like, when any SEO sees Bolt, they're like, oh my God, what's this? Like, that was my first, like, oh my God, I can make like tons and tons of sites. There's so much potential here. And then I was like, oh, I'll make a course out of this. So I made a course about Bolt and like all the things you could do, different types of websites that you could build and all of that. So yeah, it was, yeah, like when I first saw, for me, when I saw first saw ChatGPT, obviously I was like, holy crap, this is doing what I'm doing. And then like, and then it was like Bolt was like, oh, can do things that I can't do.
Gotcha. Okay, so that makes sense. So, and that's, I love that we're saying SEO right up at the beginning here. So that really was kind of after teaching English, you started going more into that search engine optimization side of things, which sounds like at first it was more around the content generation, right? But then as that starts to become maybe more commoditized, and then all of a sudden you found you could build websites, that opens up a whole new avenue for, I guess, the level of SEO optimization you can help people out with.
Totally. But like the SEO has like various strands. And for me, it was always like a content publisher, as in like I just focus on content, answering people's questions, like a little bit like YouTube as well, just helping people out the whole time, not really like the technical stuff, but like I was publishing a lot of content, like sometimes 10 blog posts a day, like I was hiring writers, all that stuff. So yeah, I was much more on the publishing than the technical stuff. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and being able to do the technical SEO things used to actually require, more of like a programmer skill set, I imagine, than it does today, which is, I'm guessing, not a skill set that you had in 3 years ago.
No, it was a lot more technical. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it was kind of the algorithm was easier to play with back then, and it was kind of like those technical SEOs, they kind of work for bigger companies, and if I was just doing my own thing, it wasn't as necessary for my websites. Like,
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're going to loop back to the SEO thing because I'm really excited to dive in deep there because I've played around with Bolt in this context a little bit
Okay.
myself, and I'm curious to hear what your experience has been and what you've figured out. But I've never made money online doing SEO for other people, but I've set up websites over the years, and I was mind blown at what I was able to accomplish in this realm with a tool like Bolt that I had never considered before. But before we get into all that, I'm curious. So you're not a software developer, but you're really paying attention to, the digital realm and how to make money online. How did you first kind of come across vibe coding and this idea that LLMs could generate not just written blog posts per se, but code that you could then go run and turn into web applications?
Yeah, I think I just came across some YouTube videos, probably like a lot of other people, and just saw things on being created on YouTube, and then just just jumped in and just started trying as much as I could and see what I could do, and just kept trying and trying and trying, and just yeah, that was kind of it. Learning by doing, and learning whatever I couldn't figure out. Then I used ChatGPT and things to help me figure other stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that's got to be a relatable story for a lot of folks watching, because how else would you really discover this stuff? You can't learn it in school, and really, X and YouTube are, unless you've got like a friend or your job has a Bolt at work or something. Like, how are you really going to even discover this skill set and learn how to use it? So
Good point.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. But
Mm.
I imagine we'll see that change over the next couple of years. But really, everybody's got to be pretty self-taught at this point, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess probably a good jumping off point into you're one of the first projects that you wanted to walk us through here. As I understand it, this was your submission to the world's largest hackathon that wrapped up in June.
Yeah, yeah. This was my project here. It's Viva Lingua AI. So yeah, I spent like the good month of June on this, just vibe coding it away, just every day, just getting really stuck into this. The whole idea about this is to practice speaking English, like, or the idea is to practice any languages, because I speak Spanish and Portuguese, but eventually I'll get there. But for now, I just want to focus on people who are speaking English, right? Who want to learn English, because it's great to have all these tools and stuff, but if you can't understand English, then you're at quite a disadvantage, I think. So yeah, back when I was younger, I always wanted to learn a language. I went to university and studied French for 3 or 4 years, and I just kind of failed. Like, I couldn't really speak French. I was, studying all the time, and then like later on, I was like disappointed. I was like, I still don't really feel that great at French. And I was kind of annoyed at that because I spent so much time on it and all of that. So I moved to like a small city in Brazil, and just like kind of just immerse myself there, speaking nonstop to people all the time. And yeah, like my Portuguese got really good after 6 months or 9 months. I was like properly fluent, and yeah, it was amazing. So I just had this discovery. It's like, well, I should be speaking 90% of the time and then studying 10% of the time, and then that got me so much further than the other way, which I think is still the way taught in schools today.
I've had that same experience, like learning Spanish in school. I did 2 or 3 years of Spanish and had no useful command of the language really until I started spending time in Mexico, and there's no substitute for actually using it in a conversational manner.
Totally, yeah. So that's why I built this tool, because AI, like voices and all, are getting better and better. So like, just to use it, you just go into the app, and then like I have this idea of like different teachers. So each teacher will have a kind of a personality and stuff like that I'll eventually get to putting them on social media and stuff. They look a bit plain now, I must say, but eventually they'll be like more characters, so they can be their own. We can use AI tools to give them their own YouTube channels or stuff like that. But then, so you pick a teacher, basically. This is the more general one. And then you pick what you want to talk about. So, for example, daily lives and routines.
Hi there, I'm Mark, your English teacher. I'm excited to talk with you about daily life routines today. This is a great topic for practicing English. What specifically interests you about daily life routines?
I like to talk about working out.
That's great. Working out is an excellent topic. Do you have a specific workout routine you follow every day, or do you like to switch it up?
Yeah, so that's kind of basically you have a chat with the teacher there, and then over here, like each teacher has their own kind of special skills. So this one, you can check out vocabulary, and then you can check up, like he will analyze your conversation and then give you some grammar tips, and you can click on this and he talks more.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, I assume a lot of this is built using 11 Labs APIs on the back end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so 11 Labs is what I use for this.
We got a call out on the performance here. I shared the link. Is there tips and tricks on, or did you take special care in the performance here?
What do you mean by performance?
I assume like speed.
Yeah, I tried, but it's it's kind of hard to do that. That's probably beyond my technical abilities. I'm just trying my best, but yeah.
That's awesome. Given that I think for some people, when you start to think about integrating third-party services, like that is really how you're going to build extremely powerful applications. And understanding that just that concept alone is really important, right? Like if you're using Bolt and you want to build a complex application, most pieces of that already exist out in the world, right? If you actually need to make something happen, you need a message to be sent, you need language to be generated or interpreted, or you need some third-party system to be touched and updated, etc. Mm-hmm. There's almost never a reason to go and build that from scratch. Even if you are a real software developer writing the code by hand, in the traditional way, trust me, those folks are not recreating functionality like this speaking teacher from scratch either. So really important to understand kind of during the project planning phase what it is that you're going to go and integrate. When you're in that phase of a project and you're thinking like, okay, looks like 11 Labs is the move for understanding voice and generating voice, what do you do next in terms of preparing yourself to actually implement that third-party technology into the app you're building? Because I think that's where a lot of people, it's like you might know you should do it with 11 Labs and that you want to, but then that next step of how do you actually prepare to do that in a way that will be easy and successful is, I think, where some people get stuck.
Yeah, I think it is good to have a plan. Like I had a bit of a plan with this one. It wasn't so detailed, but it just kind of helped me to keep it like, I was like, okay, I want to have 3 teachers. They'll have their own specialties. And then I kind of drew out just a little picture of how it would look like and those things. But especially for this is when you get to something that's a bit harder than let's say for this, I didn't know how to integrate the 11 Labs API, or I didn't understand any of this really because my first time doing it. So I just tried to simplify it. And like when you can't see this now, but like when this app started, it was like text to speech. It was like teacher needs to, or well, speech to text. And then it would like, it's had to break down every little part of what a conversation is. And then it was like, okay, now I need to call the OpenAI to understand that text. So that was like the hard part. And it's just like trying to simplify what exactly it is you want it to do,
Yeah. And then do you just build up the functionality piece by piece? Like after you get one piece working, you add on the next?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so you can do it both ways, but yeah, just kind of like we'll just keep going step by step and by step, yeah, and try to keep like one design flow that I have all these colors, and then it just like now Bolt knows that this is what everything now new that I build. It kind of just looks like this, which is great.
Yeah, I think that that's very solid advice. Sometimes I've seen people attempt to integrate a lot of very complex functionality all at the same time, and then something breaks, and then it's very unclear what broke, and it makes it really hard to dig in and try to troubleshoot. One of my favorite tools within Bolt is discussion mode.
Yeah.
Really good for helping dig in. Is that something that you've used, and how do you think about when to leverage discussion mode versus the normal chat mode?
Totally. Like I use discussion mode a lot for the big changes and the big kind of work that I need to do. Like I don't use it if I just want to change like this to a capital U or something like that. I'll trust Bolt to go and do it. But if there's like something bigger changes, I'll always use discussion mode just to see that like Bolt understands exactly what it is that I have in my mind. Because sometimes it might get something a little bit different, like, oh no, I don't want it to do that, and then I can keep asking questions and saying, okay, no, we don't want that.
Yeah. What about the visual inspector tool? Is that something that you use at all? And how do you think about when you work that in?
Yeah, I use that a good bit as well. Yeah, I use it for like something like the logo here or something. I'll select that, or the buttons, or I use that all the time. Yeah, when I want, especially on a kind of bigger page like this where there's more things, I'll always use the visual inspector if I'm like want to change this sentence, for example, or I'm saying, okay, Spanish learning, I need to implement that, and then I'll just say I'll use the visual inspector, and then just change that there. Definitely.
Very cool. And then, so is Viva Lingua something that I know it was a hackathon project. Is it something you're planning on turning into an actual business going into the future?
Totally. Yeah. This is now my project. Like it was always supposed to be my project. Like I've kind of done probably about 20 or 30 other websites, but a lot of that was just kind of like testing stuff out and stuff. But this is like my project that I'm going to do. I think it's in a good space. I actually won a 11 Labs hackathon, so I have like a really high paid 11 Labs plan for free, so I have very little cost with this as well. And then if I just need to spend more time marketing it now. That's what I need to do next.
That's awesome. Have you thought about integrating like a personal coaching with you element to it, since you actually have the skill set behind the company for your maybe some of your more premium customers?
I've thought about it. Yeah, I've thought about it. Thought about adding another plan of like $400 a month or something, but I think I just want to try and really sell this first, and then I might do that.
Yeah.
If people want it, yeah, for sure. I
Very
did actually create a kind of a. Remember during the hackathon there was like Tavis as well. So like this isn't part of the main product, but you can like have a video call as well with one of the coaches, like, so it's like a real person.
You really took advantage of the builder pack, Connor. Love it.
Yeah, did, yeah. Well, he should have.
Hey there.
Hi. How's it going?
Hi, how's it going? You look like you're having a great day. That smile says it all. What's on your mind? Want to chat about something in particular, or just shoot the breeze?
Travis.
He's kind of like sassy. He's like has a sassy little smirk.
Yeah, he's really cool, isn't he? So like that might be part of the premium plan at some other point.
Yeah, the full-on video generation stuff is not particularly cheap to do.
No.
But very cool. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that when we climbed Eric for the hackathon.
I remember the talk with Eric. That was cool.
Exactly. I see a question in chat here around around discussion mode. And this is why I always mention discussion mode, because it is included in all plans, but a lot of people don't know about it simply because you have to find it in the user interface. And let's see here. I think I've got to take that back. So here you go. Discussion mode lives right here. Discussion mode and build mode. All you need to do to go to discussion mode is just hit that button. You'll see the blue discuss, and then there you go. And then anything you type in, you'll get ideation, but no coding. So you can safely discuss, plan, debug, brainstorm, etc., without it affecting your code at all. So highly recommend that you check that out. Awesome. Okay. Let's see here, Connor. I know you built some other cool projects. Why don't we walk through another app and dig into the process and kind of behind the thought process behind the app and how it came to be.
Okay, yeah. We could have a look at this one. This is also using 11 Labs. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So actually, this is kind of for my own use, like because I make YouTube videos and I need like just music. So I just added 11 Labs, the API, and then you can just go for like so whatever music you want. Let's say lo-fi beats, and then you have a little slider here. So I kind of wanted, this was for the design challenge, which I think was last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and I just wanted to make something really cool. I love the way there's two suns. It's like so I made this video with Sora. Just typed it in like a beachy cool vibe. So this is like, I think this could be super helpful for people if they want to, you can make a standard website like this if you want as well. You can just put a video as the whole background. Like this is the whole website. There's nothing else here. And you can just put whatever it might be here, whatever you need to be. If you have something very small, if you don't have a lot of content for the website, then this could be something that you do for your website.
How did you, from like a prompting perspective, I know this is probably quite simple, but how did, just for someone who has not thought about the fact that they could put a video as the background of a website, how do you actually, like, you generate the video in Sora, then what do you actually do to turn a video into a website background?
Yeah, that's a good question, because one of the things that you might not know is like how to store the video. So I think Bolt has some sort of update. I don't know if they do about this, about file storage and something like that. I saw it's part of something coming soon, I think. But what I did in this case, I would connect Supabase, and then there's like storage there. You drop the video into the storage bucket, and then you get the URL for that. And then you just right click or the three dots next to the video, exactly like this. It looks exactly like this, and it says get URL, and then you just type into Bolt as like make this video the full background of the website, something simple like that, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Did you try dropping the video straight into the Bolt project itself or into the Bolt chat?
No, I didn't. No.
That should work as well, unless it's a very large file size. But yeah, it's just interesting. I think all I'm seeing on your screen is white at the moment.
Yeah, this is kind of crashed my website for some reason.
Need a hard refresh. But yeah, that's something I've been seeing is people making videos, and Midjourney too is another good place to make some pretty cool website background videos. Been seeing that in some of the competitions we've been running recently. So, oh no, don't refresh that tab. Speaking of competitions, while we wait for Connor to return, let's me walk you guys through some of the interesting submissions that we've been seeing for the feature contest. Pretty cool contest. We mentioned it at the top of the live stream, but if you're just joining, we're giving away $5,000 to people who come up with cool features that they wish that they had in some of their favorite apps. A lot of folks are using Bolt in their day jobs for prototyping new feature ideas on top of the existing, software that they're building. And so we figured this would be a cool way to highlight some of the features that people wish they had inside of their applications. So here we have a trade feature for eBay, which would be an interesting idea. Ready to trade 1-for-1.
A bartering system.
Yeah, bartering on eBay. I could see it. That's cool. This is, one of the things that is really cool about Bolt is it makes it very, very easy to prototype features and bring it out of your head and into
Nikola Tesla,
reality.
a life begun.
So here we can see Adrian made a audiobook add-on to Wikipedia. That's kind of cool. What if you could listen to its content as a story? Yeah, good for those late night Wikipedia rabbit hole sessions. Let's see what we got here. Got a Taylor Swift idea here. Be customizing the album art. Ooh, that's fun. Customizing the album art for your Spotify. That's cool. Yeah, that kind of brings it back to like back in the day when you'd actually, rip MP3s onto your computer and then set the album art. I haven't thought about that in a long time. But yeah, you'd be able to, like in Windows Media Player or whatever, pick whatever album art you wanted. So that's cool. Let's see. This is a Bolt. Looks like this is a Bolt feature. Normal app versus cartoon app.
It's like cartoonify your app.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the design.
Cartoon mode. Yeah, I mean, kind of like discussion mode, but a little different. See, there was one in here. There's one I saw last week. It must have been in a different thread that we did where it would show you how many people were listening to a particular Spotify playlist at the same time as you. Thought that was an interesting one. That they could no particular reason to not actually do that. I thought that was kind of cool.
Cool.
This one here I saw last week was, maybe take the scenic route mode on Google Maps, which I like this idea, especially in San Francisco. I've actually done not this exact route, but various, hikes across San Francisco where, it's just, it's a hike. It's an urban hike. You can hike across the city too. So I like this idea. I would actually use that. Let's see I think there were some other ones that I saw. Oh, this was one from Jakob, that I thought was pretty interesting as well. Basically have a prompt quality analytics feature inside Bolt. I love this idea. This is actually something that we have talked about, like being able to provide prompt quality feedback to builders inside of the tool. The thing is, prototyping it, you can kind of see what it could look like. The challenge is what actually makes a good prompt. That's a trickier question than you might think, because there's, sometimes the simple signals you might think about is like length and specificity and that kind of thing. But sometimes, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, a good prompt in one situation might not be a good prompt in another. So actually defining that in a deterministic way is challenging, but I would be curious just to see how close you could get in terms of general advice, just using something, just using an LLM to kind of look over your shoulder and assess, assess your approach. But those are just a few of the interesting submissions that I noticed so far. But as we mentioned, you still have till Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific to go and enter yourself. So head over to our X account and you can jump into the competition. And I see we have Conor back with us.
Yeah, my computer is overworked.
No worries. Maybe for the next demo here, I should share and you talk through just in case. Certainly my computer was in struggle mode, and screen sharing on these live streams was not a good situation. So the next app that we were going to walk through here is this tax calculator app for Irish professionals. So how did the idea for this one come about?
Well, I actually did some SEO for an Irish accountant a while back, so kind of just thought about this was always something I wanted to do, was like add tools to websites, because people sometimes want content, but sometimes they want answers, or like in this case, if you're interested in calculating your taxes, you can write about it, but nobody really cares about that. There's a better intent to have a calculator there so you can find out the information. So I was like, okay, I'll do this. And yeah, it was pretty easy. I got like ChatGPT to come up with all the information to give Bolt. So it was like whatever the things that you might need, and then just ask Bolt to do it, and then it creates and answers the people's questions. And then you can use this as a lead generation tool. So you can see there I have like something in shiny there, is like that opens a pop-up, and then people can lead their their information. And then if you're getting started making money online, for example, local businesses, they want leads. That's all they want, is like leads. They just want people. They want more customers. I mean, so does everybody. Online businesses, they want like content. It's like, if you want, that's what people who work online is like, we want more and more content to get more traffic and therefore more sales. But like what local businesses want, they want more leads. So this is a great way. One thing I did with this is like use an exact match domain. And what that means is like you buy the exact same keyword that somebody will be searching for. So this is like self-employed tax calculator Ireland.com. So if you think about somebody who's Googling something, they're like, oh, I need to self-employed, I want a tax calculator for self-employed in Ireland. They might Google all those 5 words. And then now this is from the traffic, I can see that this is coming up in Ireland in the top few results in Google. So yeah, that's a really powerful way to send more leads to people. And yeah, it's really cool.
And I think too, Conor, I was excited to talk about this one just because my background is content, actually, like content marketing, and there's a period before this basically that was like create blog posts that are resources for folks. So if you have a business, it's like the 10 ways to do this thing, and that becomes people are then coming back to that, creating like an index that's like this is a resource that I'm going to revisit. But now instead of writing those things or like writing guides, like you can just do it and just have this tool and people can use it, interact with it, and super helpful. I mean, I imagine this probably gets a fair amount of shares as well. People are like, oh, I use this thing. It was really helpful. So it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
one level past just a written blog post. It's now a tool and you can use that for,
Yeah, you could also integrate it into your blog posts. So like you could make this, for example, you could have a guide, for example, as well. If it's also some things, in this case, it's quite a good example where a tool is the probably best user experience for people. But sometimes maybe they need some information, extra information as well. So if you just say like create an iframe code, and then this will kind of like make the tool into like a little box, and then you can add that into your WordPress site. I actually made a video about this on my YouTube channel, so you can watch that, and I just show you how to add it into. Most people use WordPress, most older businesses or whatever. So you can add tools into the website, and that's like a big ranking factor for Google now as well. Is like how engaged are the people? I think they were talking to the YouTube team because YouTube is like how engaged are people? Are they still watching, or they're looking at those things as the most important metrics? And Google's the same now, so it's like you have to engage people with stuff like this because that people like to read a bit, maybe then they'll I like to click a few buttons and find out more information in a more engaging way, like this, for example.
Yeah, the days of like doing kind of SEO tricks are like over, right? Like you really have to like people have to go there intentionally and stay there intentionally.
Yeah, I think it's about providing value. It's like at the end of the day, the SEO tricks are, they might work, but then they Google changes their algorithm nearly every day at this point, so it's pointless.
So speaking of SEO, and I really like this idea of the lead generation business, by the way. So if you're thinking about how can you use these sort of vibe coding skill sets to make money online, I think starting a lead gen business is an incredible idea. Like small local businesses, right, will often pay $20 to $40 for a good lead. If you think about a business that has a service that they're selling that's $500 to $1,000, if you can capture a lead that's ready to convert and go work with them, that's easily worth $20 to $40 and saves them a ton of work on marketing and such. So love that idea. Also, I just noticed something. You on this page, you have this feature where if my mouse is going up to close the tab, this appears. How do you create that type of behavior through prompting for the folks out there that might want to implement that? Because this is a very common pattern that I've seen on lead generation websites where as your mouse goes for the X, you get the capture modal.
Yeah, I always use this. I don't really like to use pop-ups because I feel like if their mouse is moving away, then they're kind of like they're done. And this is called an exit intent pop-up. So you just need to say create a form with these 4 categories or whatever it is there that uses an exit intent pop-up. And actually, like I used to have to pay for this specific feature on WordPress. I was like, oh wow, it was like one prompt and I got it now.
Exit intent. There you go. See, it's so crazy. I didn't know how to do that, but now I know how to do it with 2 words. Like that's just, it's wild how a lot of being good at building with Bolt is actually just knowing the right words and phrases that represent, the things that you're trying to bring into reality. Awesome. Well, as we come into the home stretch here, we're kind of talking about SEO prompts, SEO tips and tricks, and how to implement good SEO in Bolt so that your pages can actually rank. So this is from a guide that Conor put together, a prompting guide that Kate can share the URL of in the chat so you can have this for yourself. Let's talk about a few of these. So how should people think about so essential metadata, right? This is like what I kind of think about as like the, first or second grade level of like SEO, but nonetheless really important. Like how should people think about meta description tags and how do you actually use Bolt to set these up for your sites?
Yeah, well, I mean, the easiest thing you can actually just say is like you can just tell Bolt is like do SEO, and it'll probably come up with a lot of this anyway. But I think you also have some prompts there now, don't you, for local SEO and stuff like that. What I think what you need to know first of all with Bolt is like if you're using it in the standard mode, which is usually React and V languages, right? Coding language, it's kind of hard for Google and other ones to read it as much. So if you want to like create a local lead gen site, then it's probably better to use Next.js. I think that's an important thing to say first. But
I
yeah,
will also add on something there because of that fact, with Bolt Cloud, the integrated hosting, we've added this nerdy feature called SEO pre-rendering that resolves this issue that you're bringing up with React sites. I could say a bunch of developer stuff about it's rendered on the server and this, that, and the other.
yeah,
It doesn't really matter. All you need to know is that with Bolt Cloud, if you're hosting with Bolt Cloud, SEO pre-rendering will actually render your site so that Google can read all of the keywords off of it that you need, and so that you can rank. So this is kind of a brand new update, but we heard this kind of feedback that you're sharing, but we didn't want to force people to use Next.js, so we decided to solve it for the Vite React tech stack as well.
Oh, amazing. I think that's super important. Yeah, I think that's really, really, really important. So that's an amazing update, for sure. Yeah, I mean, with the metadata and all this, it's just Google is an algorithm that goes to crawl your website and tries to find as much information as it can. So you're just kind of tagging stuff and saying, you're just like putting little organizers there to say, this is the title. So you have like a meta title, and it's just a meta descriptions like this is what this blog page or whatever page is about. And yeah, you can ask AI is usually pretty good at writing these things as well. So yeah.
And then sitemaps pretty straightforward, right? Just tells Google what the pages are to look at. I think robots.txt is an interesting one. Do you think about telling Bolt any particular configuration there? Because robots.txt is more about telling Google where not to look, because you can actually introduce SEO issues by having Google look at pages that it shouldn't.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, to be honest, I just do it as simple as possible. I just say like create me an XML sitemap, and or like go to Google and say generate a sitemap. There's tools that can do that for free, and that's usually what I do, and that works pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Anything else here that jumps off the page as important that you see folks building with Bolt not thinking about on their sites?
For me, it's like number 6 is kind of like it's something like that, but it's really a lot of people just don't really mention like the most. They never think about the main keywords that they're thinking about, or it's not really about a keyword, but like let's say for my one Viva Lingua here is like in the top it says best AI English teacher. It's like, so if anyone ever Googles that, it's like it's telling Google exactly that this is an AI English teacher app, or you know what I mean? Is like you put that up, at the very top as direct and clear as possible. And the same with all the tags and all the information is like, just tell Google exactly, tell the user, tell Google, tell everyone that this is like, you don't need to have like smart copywriting or anything. It's like, just spend that few minutes of like going, what is it that my app does, and how would people be thinking about this to search for? And then, yeah, that's just put it straight in front up at the top.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'll close this section off with reiterating what Conor already said, which is discussion mode's incredible for this stuff. If you have this prompt guide, you can double check the work, of course, and make sure that you understand it and you kind of conceptually understand each of these bullet points. I've been incredibly impressed with discussion mode's ability to go into a site that I've completed building and do the complete overhaul of all of these sort of on-page and technical SEO items. So highly recommend that you do that. And then Millennial Money Mom asks, is the SEO boost feature what we're talking about? And it is. And I'll just quickly share my screen again here so you all know how to find it. So you just open up your project and you press settings here, go to domains and hosting, and enable SEO boost right here in settings. So you can also click the learn more link to get into some of those nerdy technical details that I discussed about why that's necessary and how it works and why it helps your site rank. And then another thing that I highly recommend to ensure that Google actually goes and crawls your site is taking the XML sitemap that will be generated when you do the discussion mode led SEO optimization work. It'll generate a sitemap, and then that sitemap will be in your project files. So probably just in the main folder. So I can demonstrate how you'd find that. So if you're on the preview of your site, you just click code, and then you can just search for sitemap. I haven't done this for this site yet, and it'll come up. Chances are it'll be right here in the main folder. So then you will want to just download that file. And the best way to do that is up here. You can go export, download. That'll download the entire project, all the files. Then you will go over to, if you want to hopefully increase the speed at which Google recognizes your work and goes and looks at your site, you can kind of manually add it to Google's queue to be indexed, as they call it, by submitting that XML sitemap in the Google Search Console. So you'll be able to make a Google Search Console account, add your domain in, and then you can update you can upload that XML sitemap there. That's the best way to encourage Google to go. It's not like it just goes that day necessarily, but that's just best practices to get it heading in that direction. So
yeah,
awesome. Okay. Last question I had for you, Conor, is any words of wisdom on sort of marketing and promoting projects? Because I think now we've gotten to this world where anyone can build, but then the question becomes, how do you get your project out there, find users, find a community? So any parting thoughts on that topic?
Oh, lots of them. Yeah, it's. I mean, I think in my case is like I'm gonna stick to what I'm good at. So like I have experiences like SEO on YouTube. So obviously TikTok will be great and stuff like that. But I don't have much experience with that. So I'm gonna like double down on those things. And like now we've been talking about SEO. SEO's kind of changed a lot. And sometimes if you ever Google something now, you'll find a YouTube video at the top of Google. So it's like a good idea to do YouTube video as SEO or Reddit marketing as SEO, because you also always see Reddit. So it's like always look at the top of Google and see, what's ranking for the keywords that I'm looking for or that people are searching for. And in my case, it would be best AI teacher, English teachers, or whatever that case could be for you. So yeah, I would just be like thinking about like where are the users and then just try to market it, because maybe you have a B2B business or something, and then maybe LinkedIn is better, and then just start going hard on LinkedIn. Or maybe if it's more about AI, then X is a good place. Loads of people are on Twitter and stuff like that. So for me, I'm gonna go down the SEO, YouTube, and then I'm gonna pay some influencers as well to try do the things that I don't want to do.
Always nice to outsource. Excellent. Well, Conor, appreciated the time. Where can people find you if they want to follow along on your journey?
Yeah, so like I'm just sharing everything that and I will continue to share everything that I'm doing. So it's like Conor Martin AI, mainly on YouTube and on X. I just started a school community that people can join. The whole idea, I have a course about Bolt in there, an AI SEO course as well, if you're interested in that. But the main point is like, I just want to share and like meet cool people who are also like building and marketing stuff. Like now I just want to get into marketing because it's like, okay, the thing is pretty good. I'm going to make more improvements to it, but like, I'm just going to be full on marketing and sharing everything on YouTube and in the school community.
Very awesome. Well, appreciate you joining again. And
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Kate, any last words to share here, and you can wrap us up.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much, Conor, for joining and for coming back after your computer. There's
Yes.
a lot of pressure on these puppies when we live stream, but really here sharing your knowledge. Thank you so much. Wanted to say next week we'll also be doing another community spotlight with Jakob, who we featured in this stream already. Just shared the link there for the River page. He will be going over some design stuff next week. His background is more kind of design, so user experience stuff. So we will be looking at that as well. Yeah, thank you everyone, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Awesome. Bye-bye.